What's going on, folks? Backroads from the Backroads Gaming Studio. For those that don't know me, my name is Scott. I am a small indie developer. I've been working off and on my own stuff here over the past little while. Um, I wanted to do a quick rundown of what we're going to be going over here. I will apologize now because you're probably going to hear my son in the background cackling and just having a good time with his friends. But we're actually going to be going over a little bit of a game that I'm working on and putting together. This is the game that just started production yesterday. It is going to be a JRPG, 2.5D. This game is called Battle for Aba Anere. It is going to have some Celtic roots to it. Right now, really all we're doing is just getting started. I'm trying to get the base world laid out for the very first scene to do some demo testing. But we'll show you a few things that I've got put together and how it will definitely increase my productivity. If the scripts that I'm using in here look like there's something that would help you out or benefit you, if you want to reach out to me, I can definitely try to help you out there. So take a look down in the comments. You can reach me on my Discord, or you can leave a comment here directly in my comment section. Sorry. I cannot message you on YouTube with all the goodies, but if you want to reach out to me via Discord, I can definitely get it over to you to help you out. This is just a simple tool, and I mean it's honestly it just got it done tonight, and I've started testing it out. You'll actually see me in the process of using it versus what my old method was. But anyhow, let's get over to the game. All right, here we go. So we are in Unity 6.3. I'm in a prefab scene right now, so it's not something that you're going to be able to see anything on there. So I'm going to jump over to my game scene. Let's make this a bit bigger here so you can see it better. Out of the way. So this is just the quick overworld that I've got for the town. The town has not even been named yet. I'm going to have to go through and put it together. I know the layout because this game is actually one that I had started on previously back in 2020. I had about 400 hours into it and was given some bad information by Unity based on the license that I have or that I had at the time. I was on Unity Studio and or student, sorry, not studio. And I was told at the time that anything developed under a student license could not be commercialized. So I wound up wiping that project after about 400 hours was put into it. And, you know, hindsight 2020, shouldn't have done that. But needless to say, here we are 6 years later getting back into this project. I've worked on a couple of other small cell phone games in the interim. But let's show you what we're working with here. So the asset packs that you are seeing for the graphics is actually from RPG Worlds. Right now, I have put together just a little bit of a house, and that's actually what leads me into the tool that I developed. And let me show you what we're looking at here. So if I go into the game mode now, you can see that this tree will overlap that house there. But when I push play, let's actually move my. Well, I can keep the camera here. The camera should move. I've got to play around with my border still. But if I hit play, revert that. There's no audio, and the sprite doesn't even move correctly. He just moves around. He's not been animated yet. As you can see now, the tree here actually drops back behind that house. The same will hold true with my character. The sorting orders and sorting layers is what changes this. My character can walk in front of the house and he can't go through it, but I can turn around and go behind the house, and you can see him. You can even see him right here in the tree, but he can dip behind the house. There you go, and he disappears right behind it. So yeah, there's that, and then he comes over here. I don't have the collider set up yet either, but or the camera borders. So that's why you can see that the camera stops right here. I might I might have to adjust this camera border just a little bit, just so he can see everything there. And then, going over here, he'll zone into another area, even though it's all within the same scene. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and take care of that. The other thing to note is I am using ORK Framework 3, just to show you the one that I have here. Oh, Unity registry built in project. There we go. Let's punch in ORK. So I'm using the ORK Framework 3 2025. Right now, the latest edition is 3.24. It's a phenomenal tool. Huge learning curve, so there's a lot to it. There's some amazing tutorials that they've put together. But I'm actually also in the process of recording videos of showing how to implement the 2D aspect of this. So you're going to see me doing a lot of that in future videos. But this is just a quick little rundown there. So anyways, let's get out of there. Let's jump back over to my prefab scene. Now, what I'm going to show you here is a few different things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my RPG worlds, and I'm going to go into my towns, and I'm going to pull up a sliced panel here. Now, initially what I was doing, create empty, I'm just going to call this house show. I would go through and I would create an empty and I would call it row, and then I would create another empty and call it row 1, and then doop 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 doop. And then from there, I would take and drag each individual sprite in. So the 4 rows there, and I drag them and put them under the right row, reset their transforms to 0, and then focus in on it. And then from there, I would wind up, I would take these 2, pull them off to the side, take these 2, pull them off to the side, that one, and then that one, and then that one, and then that one. That would make the top row for the house. Is that doable? Absolutely. Is it time consuming? Absolutely. So let's show you what I put together today. I'm going to get rid of this. So this is, for anybody that's familiar with Unity, this is your sprite editor. The reason I have this pulled up is I need sprite numbers. So in this case, you're looking at houses underscore 478. That's the number of this sprite. So what I would do at this point is I would get a notepad, and I would look at it and say, all right, so row 1 does 478 through 482. Go to the next row, 499 through 504. Next row is going to be 528 through 530. Whoops, might have a type in the right spot. 528 through 533. Double check my math. There we go. Next one's going to be 557 through 562. Next one is 586 through 591. The next one's going to be 615 through 619. The reason why I'm only going to 19 is this one actually, as you can see, I'll zoom in here a little bit. You can see it stops short on these 2. The next row, we've got 643 through 647. The next row, we've got 669 through 672. And the last row, we've got 694 through 697. 694 through 697. Man, I can't type today. Okay, so just to show you what I've got typed in. This is just for memory purposes, right? Now, let's go to house number 5. I've got a couple different scripts on here. I have my Y sorting script, which is the one that allows me, it automatically populates the Y value, which allows for layering. So that's how you saw the tree jump behind the house when I hit play. Instead of having to go through and fight with each individual sprite and say, okay, well, you're going to be on this sorting layer and you're going to be at this number on that sorting layer. You don't have to fight with that. So let's get that out of the way. Sorting group, this actually ties into the Y sort script, and it also ties into the sort point. Sort point is going to be just a empty game object that's set at a specific location on the sprite that I'm designing to allow it to sort properly. But that's not what you want to see. You want to see the house builder sprite. Okay, so what is it? How does it work? So we're working on house number 10. So we're going to change the name. You can see right now it's labeled house and then in parentheses 5. So we're going to change the name of it to house 10. Now, you'll see the sprite name prefix, houses underscore. That is because of this sprite sheet. This sprite is labeled houses underscore 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look back at the notepad we just put together, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows. And what we're going to do is we're going to go right here and just hit 9. So now we've got 9 different rows. So when I first designed this, I had to go through and individually drag each sprite into there. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just get a string put together and do it that way? Let's make sure that's in the right spot. We'll zoom in a little bit here so you can see what happens. So on the row 1, this is the very top row, we're going to type in 478 through 482. Next row is 499 through 504, 528 through 533, 557 through 562, 586 through 591, 615 through 619, 643 through 647, 669 through 672, 694 through 697. So what this is doing is this is correlating houses 478 through houses 482 is going to be the very top row of the house that we're doing. So on and so forth all the way down to the bottom. And then when I go down, you can see that it sets my sorting layer for world, which is the sorting layer that all of my world objects are going to be on. And it keeps the child order in the layer to 0. Again, this is going to help with the Y sort script that we have put together. But now is where the magic comes in. I hit build house. There we go. Now, one thing that this does, and I haven't really forced it to fix this yet, but you'll notice the very top row is misaligned because it has a different number of sprites in it than the next portion of the house. So all I have to do is just make a little quick movement here. There we go. That sprite house has been built. And I am going to go through and use that for every one of these. And I also have other sprites that I'm going to use this particular tool for. Let me get this out of the way really quick. Pull this back up here. And with RPG Worlds, they gave us a ton of different things. So in here, I have other houses that I can put together. So I can take and piecemeal the houses to make them look how I want them to look. Now I may go through and, pull these individual sprites and put them together and see how they look. And if I like how it looks, then I can populate it that way. But this particular script would also work on interiors. Now I have not messed around with it yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. I designed it specifically for building the houses. Now all these sprites you see here are for interiors. I could also potentially go through and use it to build full scenes, but I'm not going to push it that hard. Now I can go through here and I can use it to build the ships for when I get into my harbor scenes. or for the the animated scenes for my game. If their players are traveling the seas, you can see the ship, the little wave, the sails booping and bopping, and the ship's sailing forward kind of thing. Instead of me having to manually drag every one of those sprites in, this building script would work for it. But anyhow, that's where we are as of right now. You can see kind of what I've done today. I'll go ahead and punch all the houses up that we put together. We'll pull them off to the side here. Ooh, what is that one? I'll have to go through and redo House 3. So we can just get rid of that. Pull the inn over here. House 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. So with each of these, I have to go through and I have to add box colliders because I don't want the player just walking through the building. And I have to adjust my sorting layer. And then with ORK, I also have to build in a scene changer as well as a spawn point. Those are things that I am going to put into the prefab itself. That way, wherever I place it, it's going to work. But yeah, that's where we are as of right now. I'll do another update here probably in a couple days with where we're at. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to do a speed build or anything like that, but I can show everybody where we are and where we have moved up to. So in the interim, we will catch y'all in the next video.